Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, love, attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this video, we're going to talk about your soul frequency and how you are an antenna, right? You are this energy that is emanating a certain frequency. You are walking through life and the universe is like scanning you. And I've done a video about this. I'll link it here. How the universe is scanning your auric field to see what frequency you're on. And if we tie this along with Neville Goddard's teachings, where he talks about right before bed, it doesn't matter what you do throughout the day, but right before bed is the most potent time to imprint onto the subconscious. So he talks about the ladder method, right? I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but if you go to bed and you imagine yourself climbing a ladder every single night, right? Your imagination is seeing you on each step and you're climbing the ladder. And then all throughout the day, you're saying, I'm not climbing a ladder. I'm not climbing a ladder. Maybe you're writing it down. Maybe you're just saying it out loud. You're like, I'm never going to climb a ladder. And believe it or not, I think his method worked. He did it with like a group of people. And this one guy ended up getting called over to his family's house, and like the grandfather asked him to hand him something and he had to walk up a ladder to hand it to him. And he was like, damn it. He's like, I just was saying all day long, I'm not going to climb a ladder. I'm not going to climb a ladder. But at night, his subconscious got the message. So kind of cool when we're manifesting, we don't have to worry too much about our morning and afternoon antenna. What we're thinking about that manifestation, what we're feeling about it, we can kind of just live life. And as long as we do the nighttime work, it tends to happen. But there is a but here. I'm all about manifestation. I'm all about, the journey to get there, the signs, the synchronicities. But what happens when you get the manifestation, right? You're in a new state now and you're like, all right, cool. I just created this. This is so awesome. Well, the mind will immediately say, what's next? So my biggest thing is the antenna, right? I want to help you all create a life where for 24 hours a day, you are experiencing peace and joy and laughter and happiness and magic. That is my favorite piece, is creating magic for yourself. So how can you create a life where manifestations are coming in? You're not always wanting more because your life in the small moments is so freaking magical that they become more important than the big manifestations. Like, really think about that. You could spend, 3 months being really depressed, but you're doing your imaginal acts and all of a sudden a manifestation does drop in. Well, then you might just go back to being depressed again, right? We want to master life in a sense that we are living out our mission. We are here, are waking up, being purposeful with our day, with our relationships, with who we're becoming. We're willing to let go of more layers of the ego, but how can we do all of that and then still on the undersurface be experiencing joy and happiness, right? And that is where your antenna comes in. Your deep frequency of who you are at the core of your being. Are you grateful? Are you appreciative? Are you loving? If we have a lot of ego on top of that unconditional love down here, that's forgiveness, that's compassion. If we have a lot of layers of ego on top, our frequency, our antenna is not going to be able to attract more because we're going to be living from a frequency of judgment, comparison, criticism. And when we spiritually awaken, those layers of ego just kind of peel off one by one. And we're not in charge of how fast it happens. Maybe you can call it in for yourself. I've never been able to. And I honestly, I'm always like bracing when an ego death is coming. I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's so hard. It's humbling. It shows you all the parts of you that you couldn't see before. And it's cringy. It's like, oh, you look at yourself and you're like, why did I say that? Or why did I do that? And you can just see, okay, I love that part of me. I love her. I'm going to forgive her. She was doing it for attention. She was doing it for love. She was not in integrity. And I'm just going to peel off that layer and I'm not going to be her anymore. I'm just going to be present. I'm going to be like source energy and I'm just going to be compassionate and loving. And the more you can love yourself, that's when your antenna starts to really come online and you can start magnetizing more to you because you're now in a frequency of unconditional love for self. Which if everybody is you pushed out, then if you unconditionally love yourself and you forgive all your layers of ego and you're coming more and more into awareness of it, awareness of it, awareness of it, you're going to do the same for everybody else. And how you know that you're not in that frequency of unconditional love is your reality will reflect it. Your mind will have reactions to people, places, and things. And whatever is triggering you, whatever is sparking something in you, that is a layer that you have to let go of. And then the more we let go, the more our antenna gets stronger and stronger. And we get to choose, somebody's bothering us. We get to choose in that moment. What frequency do we want to be on? What radio station do we want to be on? Do we want to be complaining? Maybe like 91.5 is complaining. Or do we want to turn it to 101.5, right? And that is joy and peace and happiness. It's like a little dial, and you just flick the switch and you change your state. And we can't just go from being in ego all the time and, seeing other people in a certain way and judging and comparing. It takes time. And that's why I said it's layers. You're not just going to quickly drop to unconditional love, because it's just, our brain is not that easy to maneuver. We have to give it time. We have to integrate. Once we have an ego death, we now have to be in our body and start continuing to stop those patterns and cycles that we were once doing. Right? We want to, think about, when I think about an ego death and with my clients, I think about how are they showing up and how are they communicating with others, with their family members, with their children. You know that we're really deep in ego and not in unconditional love when we're expecting outcomes, when we have expectations, when we are really needing to show up and say something because we need to be heard. That is the ego. So when you can fall back into, okay, I don't need to do anything. I'm just here experiencing life. And if I want to redecorate my house, side note, I just redid my backdrop, as you guys know, because it looks different, but I feel so invigorated. I was so happy that I came across that podcast about feng shui, and I'd studied it before, but I really took a look at everything that was in my living room, all had to do with my loss, the loss of my daughter, it was reminding me of grief. And this just feels happy and bright. And I have eucalyptus. It smells good. It's just all of my favorite books that I do page pulls with. I have all of my cards down below. I have a disco ball that reminds me to dance with the universe. So this is more of like who I've become post loss. That's what this is. And when we feel invigorated by our spaces and invigorated by life, our antenna sharpens, right? We start to really send out a new beacon of energy. We're on the radio station and more will drop in, but we're also on the station going, I don't need more to drop in, but I'm just really loving my Buddha. I'm just really loving my books, the setup. I'm really loving my reality right now. And that's what I want to encourage you all to do, is to get to a deep, deep frequency of gratitude, appreciation, like loving your surroundings, setting yourself up to feel good, putting good food in your body, taking baths, making it a nice, luxurious bath. But if you don't have the things to make it luxurious in your own mind, right? We don't need all of these material things, but they enhance our experience, but we don't need them. Like if I didn't have this, I would still find a way to present in a beautiful way, because we have the ability to cultivate the happiness from within. Okay, so we're not going to rely on a physical item to make us smile. It's just an added bonus. And our job, if we really want to enhance our experience, is to buy those physical items that we know will bring us joy, or the clothing that makes us feel good, or maybe it's good for our environment. So our antenna is being sharpened all the time by our surroundings, by our actions, by our thoughts. And we have to become aware of what radio station we're on. What message are you sending out right now to the universe? What have you been thinking about for the last 20 minutes? Are you in judgment? Are you in fear about your finances? Are you worried about a relationship? Are you just frustrated with not having any kind of change in your life? What I want to encourage you to do right now is to take that problem and put it on a shelf and go do something like I just did. I just redecorated. This lit me up. It made me feel productive. It made me feel like, wow, I created something from thin air. I had this whole area blank for 2 days and it was looking pretty like scarce. And I'm like, what do I want to create? And when I put like pieces together, and it's my creative juices that are flowing. It's like writing a poem. It's like writing a song. Decorating for me is my art. It's my creative abilities. So what do you love to do? I want to encourage you to go tap into your joy center. Go do something where you feel like you've created something, you've birthed something into the world, even if it's like cleaning out a junk drawer. You know, you're changing your state, you're changing what your eyes are seeing, what your ears are hearing, what kind of music are you listening to. And once you get into that state of flow, where you're in the mode of taking action, you're feeling good, that's when the inspiration about the problem that you were focused on before comes through. Or all of a sudden you get a call about somebody and you've been waiting for that call for weeks and it drops in right when you were cleaning or right when you were redecorating or right when you were working out. Whatever it was that you chose to do that brought you joy, you're sending that antenna out saying, I feel good. And the universe just wants you to have what you want. It wants to bring you whatever you're wanting, but you have to be in the energy of it to receive it. So if I can get all of you to put the problem on the shelf, to go be in that happy energy, that's when life will respond. Okay. So pay attention to your antenna. What radio station are you on? Are you thinking good thoughts? Are you judging somebody? Go back in and rewire yourself and let go of that layer of you that's been doing that. Ask yourself, why have I been doing that? Really be humbled by your ego and say, okay, I'm not going to be her anymore. I'm not going to post this or do this or text this because I need somebody to validate me, right? We're only going to be doing it for our own self-love. And when we are vibrating in that self-love and accepting us and source and our angels and guides, and we're in the flow communicating with them, that's the beauty of being in the present moment. And that's what life is really about. It's not about attaining things, but those things will arrive faster when your antenna is so sharpened and so beautiful, and you are in a flow state feeling good. Okay, so remember this. If you want to manifest anything, focus on your energy that you're emitting, your antenna, what radio station are you on, and then allow your ego deaths to occur, because the core frequency of who you are lives underneath your ego. And we want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing out those layers that we are not matched to. And we want to get to our truest nature, which is pure peace, pure presence in the present moment, gratitude, appreciation, knowing how to take care of our vessel. Because if our vessel is clear, we can get that inner guidance. We can listen, we can hear better, we can meditate. Okay, so if you need help, book a session with me. My mentorship is open. I'm taking 3 more women along with me on the journey for 6 weeks. I cannot wait to meet you. The link is in the comments. I'm sending you so much love, and thank you for supporting me, my daughter, and our channel, and I will see you all in the next one. All right, peace out.